You're being tested, and you don't even know it. Long before the first date, before the compliments, even before you sense her interest, she's already watching. Quietly, subtly, ruthlessly. She observes how you respond to silence, how you carry yourself under tension, how easily you react, and how desperate you are to impress. None of this is random. These aren't casual interactions but psychological probes. She's not trying to destroy you, she's trying to classify you. Not by what you say, but by what you can't hide, your composure, your instincts, the invisible gravity you either radiate or lack. Most men fail without realizing it, not because they're weak but because they don't know they're being measured. They dismiss it as just a vibe or small talk, but the test has already begun, and by the time they react, it's too late. In this video, you'll uncover the 7 covert psychological tests women use to size up your strength. Some are nearly undetectable, others will shake your ego too. The core. But every one is decisive. Fail just a single test, and you lose her trust, attraction, and respect, not with a scene or a warning, but silently and permanently. If you want to lead instead of chase, stay until the end. This isn't about tricks, it's about survival in the hidden game of power and perception. Test number 1, the subtle challenge to your authority. It doesn't come with yelling or drama. In fact, it barely looks like conflict at all. It begins with something small, a playful critique, an offhand interruption, a comment that slightly undercuts your stance. She'll question your word choice, mock your plan, or raise an eyebrow at your confidence, in nothing aggressive, just enough to shift the power dynamic by an inch. And if you flinch, she sees it. This isn't about the topic, it's never about the topic. It's about the force field behind your words. She's not picking a fight, she's feeling for cracks in your armor. What she wants to know, without saying it, is simple: can this man hold the frame, or does he need me to believe in him first? Because the moment your authority requires her approval, you've already surrendered it. Imagine this: you're speaking confidently about a project or plan, and she tilts her head. That sounds kind of basic. What do most men do? They list credentials, over-explain, and plead their case, thinking they are defending themselves, when in reality, they are bleeding. Or in a relationship, you make a clear decision, where to eat, what to book, and she questions it. Instead of calmly reaffirming, you overtalk, bargaining for her agreement. Just like that, you've traded leadership for permission. Machiavelli warned, men ought either to be well treated or crushed. Why? Because authority that invites challenge will eventually be overthrown. Her challenge is psychological. She doesn't want to destroy your frame, she wants to know if it was ever real. So what's your move? Don't defend. Don't explain. Don't fight for validation. Hold the frame. Respond with calm certainty, a grounded tone, minimal words. A true leader doesn't need applause, he needs clarity. And if you can't hold that clarity under gentle pressure, you won't survive the storm she doesn't even know she's bringing. Now, let's move deeper. Because the next test destroys men who confuse approval with peace. Test number 2, the drama without a cause. Everything feels smooth, until suddenly, it doesn't. She pulls back emotionally. Her responses turn colder, her tone shifts, subtle but unmistakable. She throws vague accusations you can't quite grasp: you've changed lately. You feel distant. You're caught off guard, scrambling to rewind the week, searching texts and conversations for a logical cause. But here's the truth: there is no cause. That is the test. This moment isn't about what you said or did, it's about how you react when the emotional ground vanishes beneath you. She's probing, is this man emotionally centered, or will he chase stability the moment I withdraw it? Machiavelli warned, it is much safer to be feared than loved, if one of the two must be lacking. Most men fail here because they crave love at all costs. They fear uncertainty, so they scramble to fix what was never broken, exposing their dependency. Imagine, she goes silent for 10 hours after days of warmth. You panic, double text, ask if something's wrong. You think you're showing care. In reality, you've confessed, your emotional volatility controls me. Or in a relationship, she stirs tension over nothing. You plead for harmony, desperate to smooth things over. But you've already failed. Instead of anchoring the storm, you became part of it. The correct response? Let the storm pass. Hold your emotional rhythm. Don't explain confusion with more confusion. Don't beg. Stand still, grounded. Speak with clarity, not concern. Let silence do the heavy lifting. When a man remains unmoved by chaos, she sees something rare. A man who doesn't dance for emotional safety, flinches when the frame shakes, or alters himself to match the weather. That's strength. And strength earns trust, desire, and respect. Now, let's move forward. The next test doesn't come in words, it comes in silence. Test number 3, the silent withdrawal. The silence speaks louder than any argument. There's no drama, no confrontation, just a gradual retreat. The effortless warmth she once showered you with evaporates. Replies shorten. Energy cools. She doesn't reject you outright, she simply withdraws, leaving you questioning, what went wrong? Is she drifting away? Should I address this? But here's what most men miss completely. This isn't rejection, it's revelation. She's not leaving, she's observing. Who is he when the rewards stop? Any man can be confident when everything's going his way. But who are you when the validation dries up? When the ego strokes disappear? This is when your true character emerges, stripped bare. Machiavelli saw through this centuries ago. The promise given was a necessity of the past, the word broken is a necessity of the present. Her warmth served its purpose, now she breaks the pattern strategically. She's testing your emotional foundation, not through what you say, but through how you stand in. Silence. Imagine, daily playful texts suddenly turn to one-word replies. The energy shifts. Do you scramble? Double text? Try to revive what was? In that desperate reaching, you confess everything, that her attention dictates your worth, that your confidence was borrowed all along. Or in a committed relationship, when she withdraws, do you overcompensate with gifts, unearned apologies, excessive compliments? This isn't love, it's negotiation. Not leadership, but bargaining. You've just proven her silence holds more power over you than your own self-possession. The winning move? Mirror, don't chase. Maintain your dignity, not your desperation. Stay present but not pleading. Let her experience the weight of your unshakable value when the temporary warmth fades. What she's truly seeking isn't a man who thrives on her attention, but one who remains complete without it. This isn't coldness, it's the ultimate strength. Now we proceed to the final test, the one where nearly all men fail. Without even realizing why. Test number 4, the status trigger, other men. She casually mentions a male coworker who really gets her jokes, laughs at another man's text right beside you, or drops a nostalgic comment about her ex. No anger, no drama, just a subtle shift in the air. Your mind races. Is she interested in someone else? But the truth is, she's not testing your competition, she's testing you. This isn't about betrayal, it's about status. She wants to see if you crumble when your pride is lightly nudged, if your confidence was ever real or just a performance in the absence of rivals. Machiavelli warned, everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. And in this moment, she's uncovering exactly who you are. Most men fail here without realizing it. They hear about the guy from the gym, and suddenly, their focus shifts to an invisible competitor. They ask casual but loaded questions, pretend indifference, then circle back later, revealing that their security was borrowed all along. In relationships, they might even check her phone, masking panic as vigilance. But every reaction broadcasts the same truth: your stability depends on her behavior, not your own foundation. The correct response? Don't feed the test. Smile, redirect, and remain unmoved, not because you're pretending not to care, but because your confidence is internal, unshakable. She's not looking for jealousy or forced dominance, she's looking for the man who stays grounded when the room gets crowded. When you hold the frame effortlessly, you pass without trying. When you react, you fail without realizing. This isn't about trust, it's about calibration. Now, the final test looms, targeting not your mind or status, but something far deeper, your primal self-control. Test number 5, the temptation test. Can you hold the flame? This is where most men fail without ever realizing they were being tested. It's not about sex, attraction, or even physical chemistry, it's about who holds the reins when desire enters the room. She won't say a word, but you'll feel it, a glance held a beat too long, a touch that lingers, a shift in proximity that wasn't there before. She's not inviting you in, she's observing. Watching to see how quickly your composure unravels the moment temptation flickers to life. Machiavelli understood this, a prince must learn to master the nature of the beast. And the beast lives inside you, the raw, impulsive hunger that, left unchecked, turns you from a leader into a follower of your own impulses. The man who reacts instantly to a tease, who chases the moment she turns up the heat, isn't demonstrating confidence, he's revealing his leash. Picture this, you're watching a movie, and her leg brushes against yours. A charged silence stretches between you. Most men pounce, too eager, too fast, thinking they're seizing an opportunity. In reality, they are surrendering power. Because the moment you escalate without restraint, you become predictable. She doesn't pull away because she's uninterested. She pulls away because you've shown her your self-control has an expiration date. Or in a relationship, she walks by with a playful glance, a teasing sway. If you drop everything, your focus, your purpose, to follow, you've just confessed that her slightest shift in energy can derail you. That your presence isn't a choice, it's a reflex. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who trades his edge for fleeting validation. The pass? Let the tension breathe. Match her energy without mirroring her pace. Stay present, but don't consume the moment like a starving man at a feast. The man who can hold space for desire without being ruled by it doesn't just pass the test, he rewrites it. He's not desperate for her warmth, he becomes the fire she can't resist. Now, steel yourself. The next test isn't about desire, it's about dismantling the last illusion of control you think you have. Test number 6, the edge test. Are you built or just acting? It arrives disguised as humor, a teasing jab, a sarcastic remark, a comment just sharp enough to reveal what lies beneath the surface. She's not attacking you, she's probing. Not to wound, but to uncover, is your strength genuine, or just an act you put on when unchallenged? Every man seems unshakable until his ego gets flicked, not with anger, but with laughter. Machiavelli saw this truth centuries ago. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Likewise, she measures your emotional architecture by how you stand when the pressure comes wrapped in a smirk. Imagine this, you're on a date, relaxed and confident. Then she glances at your shoes and quips, "You're really wearing those?" Here's the fork in the road. If you stiffen, defend, or let irritation flicker across your face, you've already failed. You've shown her your composure is conditional, that your masculinity crumbles the moment it's playfully challenged. But if you meet her eyes, match her smirk, and volley back with something like, "Legends never apologize for their flair," you've done more than deflect, you've revealed an unshakable core. The game isn't about winning the joke, it's about demonstrating that pressure doesn't crack you, it amuses you. In relationships, the test deepens. She might tease, "You're such a soft boy sometimes." Most men falter here. They over-explain, justify, or worse, act wounded. In trying to prove their depth, they expose their fragility. But the man who owns his edge doesn't scramble for validation. He might lock eyes, smile lazily, and reply, "You'd miss the softness if it was gone." No defensiveness. No performative toughness. Just unbothered certainty. That's the difference between reacting and commanding the moment. This is what she's truly after, not dominance, but polarity. The tension between your warmth and your steel. The space where her teasing meets your unshakable frame, and bounces off. A man who can't be thrown off balance by a playful challenge won't collapse under real pressure. And that's the man she can trust to lead when stakes are high. Now, the final test looms, the one that separates temporary attraction from unbreakable respect. This isn't about how you handle her. It's about how you handle yourself when everything is on the line. Test number 7, the direction test. Can you lead or are you just floating? It sounds simple, it's just a question. What are we doing? Where is this going? But this isn't curiosity, it's the ultimate litmus test. She's not asking for promises or poetry. She's probing for something deeper. Do you have a compass, or are you just floating? Most men hear this and panic. They soften, hedge, or try to say what they think she wants to hear. But what she actually wants isn't reassurance, it's proof. Proof that you're not a man who drifts, but one who decides. Machiavelli laid it bare, a prince who relies on others is doomed to fall. If your path bends to her mood, your leadership was never real. Imagine this, you've been seeing her for weeks. Things are good. Then she asks, do you see this getting serious? You shrug. We are vibing. We'll see. You think you're being easygoing, but what she hears is directionless. And attraction fades not from anger, but from the quiet realization, there's nothing here to follow. Or in a long-term relationship, she asks about family, legacy, the future. You say, I don't know yet. Honest? Maybe. But it lands as indecision. And indecision is the death of polarity. The answer isn't about giving her a script, it's about showing her you've already written yours. Try this, I move with intention. I take my time choosing, but once I do, I don't hesitate. No pandering. No performative certainty. Just the quiet confidence of a man who knows where he's going, because leadership isn't about having every step mapped, it's about walking with purpose, with or without her applause. And when she feels that, the tests stop. The silence, the teasing, the emotional shifts, they were never traps. They were invitations. Invitations to prove you're not just another man who crumbles under the weight of her gaze. That your frame isn't a facade, it's your foundation. What women really crave isn't perfection. It's gravity. Something stable enough to trust, strong enough to lean into. Most men fail because they trade power for peace, explaining, justifying, scrambling to be liked. But you're different. You don't chase approval, you command respect. You don't react to tension, you are the tension. And when she finally meets a man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't beg, who doesn't need her to validate his path, that's when the questions end, because she's found her answer.